Just take a deeper than normal breath with me. Yeah. Just filling up the belly, exhaling long. Yeah, and just allowing yourself to arrive. So checking in and noticing what you might need right now. Do you need to adjust your pose? Do you need to move a little bit before we get started? So this is your time. This is a time to check in. Maybe you need to take a deeper than normal breath. I feel like I need to take a deeper than normal breath. Already had a busy morning. Maybe some of you had a busy morning too. And so just noticing what's here. Any thoughts that might be here. Maybe there's some emotions that are lingering here still. That's okay. So as the poet Rumi says, just welcome them all. Welcome everything that knocks at your door. So maybe just taking a moment to notice what's here right now for you. Just taking you away from this moment. And then whenever you're ready, just really making the intention, so intentionally bringing your attention to this body breathing. So just starting by feeling the expansion of the in-breath in the body, sensing how it moves around, sensing the out-breath as the breath comes out of the body, maybe comes in a temperature different than it comes out. Yeah, and you don't have to close your eyes if that doesn't feel natural to you right now. You can just lower your gaze. We close our eyes or lower our gaze as to give ourselves the message that you were looking inward right now. This is a focusing practice. But just noticing even that word, seeing if it can be gentle. Kind of like bringing the gentleness of when you're doing something you really love and you're completely focused on it. Everything else melts away, but then there's an underlying sense of ease in it. It's not forced. It doesn't have a quality that is militant. It has a soft quality, nurturing quality of curiosity, wanting to know. So in this case, you're just curious about this breath, this fleeting breath, seeing if you can catch it. Maybe you can find that expansion of the breath, expanding the body, noticing where it's at. There's the expansion happening. And where is the contraction on the out breath happening in the body? So just sensing what it's like to breathe in, to breathe out. And becoming aware of what takes you away from being with the breath right now. And there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. Every breath is an opportunity to come back to a new moment. And then just noticing if the body can just settle. Maybe feeling the surface holding you. Noticing the point of contact. And seeing if the body can just soften a little bit. Just really safely sinking into the surface. Allowing it to support you. Maybe you're noticing parts of the body that are tense around the support. Seeing if it's okay for you to just let go of that tension. And if not, then that's okay. Just noticing it. Seeing if you can let in that support the surface holding you is providing right now. And just acknowledging that at this precise moment, you have made the decision of being here with yourself. There's absolutely nothing else to do but just being here, present. And now I invite you to move your attention really gently, allowing the breath to just kind of fall into the background. This body's going to breathe regardless. So trusting that. And now bringing your attention to the bottom of your feet, the soles of the feet. And just sensing here. Maybe they're in contact with the ground, maybe not. Maybe they're in contact with the surface holding you. Whatever it might be, just becoming aware of what's here at the feet for you right now. Temperature, numbness, tingling, maybe nothing at all, and that's okay. And now moving your attention to the palms of your hands, seeing what's here for them right now. Noticing if there's coolness or warmth, numbness, tingling, maybe nothing at all. That's okay too. Noticing the absence of sensation. And having the sense that there's nothing that you need to make happen. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. If you're paying attention, you're doing this perfectly. You're here. So just knowing that these areas of the body, they're always here for you. You can always come back to them. Allowing your attention to just land here for a moment. Now just moving your attention to the area of the abdomen, the area where you feel your intuition, what people call the gut feeling. G-U-T, sorry. The gut feeling. Just noticing that area right here. Maybe it's like the mouth of the stomach. Just checking in with this area. This is the source of your intuition right here. Scientists call this area the second brain, with even more connections than the brain itself, or we identify as a brain. So lots going on here. And there's nothing in particular that you have to feel right now. Just identify this area. Notice the breath here moving maybe. Notice the rising and the falling of this area with the breath. And so just greeting this part of yourself. Whenever you notice the mind creating stories, taking you away, or even trying to find answers. So it's a cognitive process sometimes. Seeing if you can just sense through here, just sensing the breath, the rising, the falling of this area of the body, maybe a sense of pressure, maybe just very at ease, relaxed. So we're going to take this practice a little deeper now. So maybe just taking in a deeper than normal breath. Exhaling long. And let's do it one more time, maybe even making a sound on the exhale. So inhaling deep. Exhaling long. Now just resuming to breathing normally. Nothing to change, nothing to control. And I invite you to bring into mind a time, maybe this past week, maybe before that. Doesn't have to be anything too like strenuous or overwhelming. Maybe a 3 or a 4, but maybe a time in which maybe you followed your gut feeling. You had this sense that, this just doesn't seem right for me right now. And again, it doesn't have to be the most overwhelming time. Pick like a 3, maybe on the scale up to 10. Something mild, but that you feel like, maybe not. Maybe I'll pass. And it ended up being a good decision. Turned out to be a really good decision for you. And it could be as simple as somebody inviting you somewhere, but deciding to turn into your gut feeling and decided to just pass. Following your intuition about things. So let's take a moment. Just allow yourself to bring that event, that memory. And notice what was it like to actually listen to your intuition. Notice how your body felt. What was the overall mood that you experienced making that decision based on your intuition? Again, something that just said, maybe not. Maybe I will do this instead. Hmm. Just notice any thoughts that happened at that moment. Just for a moment, taking the time to learn about your intuition. What is it like when you actually tune into yourself, tune into your body, this area in the body, and allow it to guide you? How do you experience your body at that moment? Whenever you're ready, you can notice right now how your breath is flowing as you recall. Notice any emotion here as you recall this decision you made. Now, whenever you're ready, checking in with your body, noticing how does the overall body feel when you recall this, making this decision. And if nothing has come to you right now, if you're wondering, no, I don't recall anything, I don't remember anything right now, that's okay too. Just stay with your breath. Just stay right here in this moment. Don't let that take you away. You're doing this perfectly. But if you were able to recall, if you have something you're working with right now, just notice your body right now as you remember it. Notice the overall sense in the body. Whenever you're ready, at your own pace, maybe just taking a deeper than normal breath. And a long exhale, taking in with your breath in this moment, noticing how it's flowing. So just connecting to your breath for just a little bit. You know, there's a poem by an unknown author called "You Know All You Need to Know." And he says, "This is what I have to say to you. You know all that you need to know. You already are all that you need to be. It remains only for you to recognize and acknowledge who you are, what you know, and the powerful presence that is awake within you. You might think of yourself as fragile, but you are, in fact, strong. You sometimes feel alone, but you are, in truth, connected to all beings. Believe in this connection. Believe in yourself. That is all you need to do, for all is well." So maybe just taking another deeper than normal breath with those words, just noticing how they land for you. And whenever you're ready, I invite you to bring your attention to the area around the eyes, to notice your eyelids. If your eyes are closed, just noticing them touching. If your eyes are slightly open, just notice that sense of relaxation in the eyelids, lowering the gaze. Nothing to look at, nothing to see right now. And then really gently at your own pace, just allowing the eyes to open. And just noticing the first thing that you see, maybe past the screen, or maybe in the screen, or maybe where you're sitting. What is the first thing that comes to your awareness as you open your eyes? And as you notice that, just notice your body as well. Just allowing you to sense, connect to what you're seeing and how your body feels. And then maybe you need to move a little bit. Maybe this body needs a little bit of movement right now. So I invite you to move a little bit. Just kind of stretch a little bit. Yeah. And maybe just bringing a sense of gratitude to yourself for this time that you have dedicated to yourself in this form of practice, to be with yourself in this way. Yeah. So just acknowledging yourself right now. Holding yourself tenderly and kindly. So we've been speaking about beginner's mind. We spoke about it last week, and we're going to continue on unfolding on the sense of beginner's mind. And I know every year we kind of do this again. And I don't know about you, but I'm noticing that every year when I visit these themes, it's the attitudinal foundations in our group, I learn something new. There's always something new to discover for me. And I feel like the practice just takes me deeper into this acknowledgement. And so, that the connection that I kind of want to convey to you today, and that I was visiting with our practice, was this connection to our gut feeling. As we explore beginner's mind, something that came up last week and that it kind of stayed with me was, again, this word discernment, right? And when is it that we can come into a situation with a complete beginner's mind, and when is it that we're actually being oblivious to potentially harm, right? So this is what drove me into really noticing this sense this week as I was working with this. And believe it or not, as I was preparing the class last night, this week I was thinking about it, and last night I thought maybe we'll talk about this today. I had a dream about it. And so I shared my dream because, I heard Dr. Gabor Mate once say that the dreams are sometimes an explanation for something that is felt already in the body, something that you're experiencing already. And so as I was exploring this beginner's mind, the dream was a perfect example of this sense of trust in your gut, right? That we can use to discern situations. And so in this dream, we're going to go back in time. I went back on time on my dream, and to a much younger time. I was like in college, and not much younger, a little younger. And I was in college, and I had taken a trip with some friends, and this is a dream, by the way. It's not nothing like this ever happened, which I thought was really interesting as I woke up. And my dreams are really vivid, as you will probably be able to tell today. But I had taken this trip with some friends, people that I don't know in real life, but there were some friends in my dream. However, there was this one night we're all gathering together and having dinner and having drinks. And one of them says that, hey, let's all, having these ideas when you're really young, let's all just all go for a drive and go visit this place. I guess we were at a new town, and it seemed like a great idea to everybody. And so at that moment, I thought, like, that seems like a good idea. But, get that sense. I got this sense that, just something doesn't feel right about this. And at this point, nobody was really drunk or anything like that. We were just hanging out, having dinner and stuff. But something told me not to go in the dream. And later in the night, I stayed with a couple of friends, I guess, in this place. And in the night, the person that had actually said, let's all go, didn't come back to meet up with us later that night, as we were heading out for the night somewhere else. And as I asked around, somebody actually shared that this person had gotten arrested, and the people that were with her had gotten arrested too. And there wasn't an explanation in the dream for something, but she had done something had happened that led to this arrest. And in my dream, I feel like, yeah, I trusted my gut feeling. And I could sense it in my body, right? And so it brought me to this morning to really remember what it's like when I trust my gut feeling, to what it feels for me in my body, right? And now the gut feeling, if we identify it, it's right around the stomach, right? It's what usually people say, it's like, my gut is telling me. And it's like that belly area right above. Sometimes it's like the opening of the stomach. And so, scientists actually say that there's a vast neural network, like 100 million neurons lining the entire digestive tract. And so there's a lot of information here, isn't it, that is constantly happening. So this brings me to this idea of discernment. Sometimes discernment is not something guided by the mind, right? And it brings me to a quote, actually, that I had somewhere, and let me see if I can find it. But yeah, here it is. So in this quote, Yogananda actually says that intuition, which is what I'm linking to discernment today, using your intuition to make that discernment when things are right for you. So Yogananda says intuition is the discriminate faculty that enables you to decide which of the two lines of reasoning is right. Which of the two lines of reasoning is right? Perfect intuition makes you a master of all. And so these two lines of reasoning, and I think Yogananda can be talking about something else here. And my understanding might be talking about how we can, the reason that can be deductively or inductively. And we did, so inductive really is, it's really how we do, it's developing a theory, right? So that's the mind kind of saying like, oh, well, I don't think I need to go on this. I don't think I want to go. Now, that's inductive. Now, deductive means that we're actually testing that theory. And so it makes sense that we're actually not testing that theory in any way. But if our gut feeling holds all this information, we're kind of using it as a lab when we turn into our intuition. We're kind of just taking all this data, all this past knowledge that is gathered, and allowing it to guide us, right? And so this is kind of like the perfect intuition, right? That Yogananda might be talking about, this mastering of really maybe having this theory of like a thought of like, I don't know about this, and then really tuning in and noticing. Now, I wanted to just share briefly also, what does it feel like when your intuition is actually open, when you're listening to our gut feeling, this gut feeling and, this neural network happening when we are in experience. And something that's really interesting is that it has a sense, and I'm not sure if you sense this during the exercise, but it has a sense of ease. It's almost like yeah, I think I'll pass on that. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just not really feeling right. But it's a sense of ease with it. It's very different than when we're fear driven, right? Fear driven means that we're actually in a state of fight or flight. We might check out, we might disassociate from the moment. We might feel a lot of energy unsettling in the moment. That's different than our intuition telling us. With the intuition, we're at a sense of ease, almost a certainty. Like, yeah, no, that doesn't feel right. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to make that decision, right? So allowing this sense to guide us can be really, really powerful when we talk about discernment, because discernment in itself could just be a word, right? Discernment is like, okay, great. Okay, I got to use discernment. But how in mindfulness, how do I tune into this discernment? How do I know that it's not my mind telling me something that I should or should not do? Your gut feeling is collecting all this data from way before you were born, right? So something else that I've learned from Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate, is that he says that a lot of the times we have trained ourselves to not listen to our intuition. And it makes sense, right? We live in a world that intuition, authenticity, all these things are disregarded, right? So in this case, talking about intuition, it's almost like there's peer pressure. There's what everybody's doing. There's all the things that we want to do, right? It's very, very busy, very, very fast paced. Many times in my own career, and I work with corporate mainly, mindfulness. Many times I notice that in leadership, this happens often, right? Is we give up our intuition, our gut feeling, which makes a great leader sometimes, because we want to achieve something, because we have the pressure because of something else coming in that forces us to make decisions that go against what we're sensing. And so sometimes sensing, and most of the time the intuition is always right. But we got to be careful. We got to really, really have that difference between intuition and a strong emotion, right? Intuition is not going to come with a whole bunch of emotions. It's going to come with a sense of ease, of certainty. Like, yeah, kind of like what I was saying in that dream, right? Like, that doesn't seem right. I think I'm just going to say something is telling me no. I have no reason, but I don't want to go, right? So my all these neural networks were already reading something, that wasn't right. And so really following that, as we talk about beginner's mind and being open to experience and coming in with a sense of beginner's mind, to really use this discernment and to allow that discernment to come from within, right? So if I don't know if I can leave you with anything and today, and maybe I'll say, I know, instead of I don't know, I know. If I can leave you with anything, it would be practice. So this next week, practice tuning in to this gut feeling. Practice tuning in with little things, right? Little tiny things, little decisions that you have to make. Check in. If there is fear, most likely might be a rightful fear, right? You might be, but here is where you can analyze. Right? We can notice, like, it's really a situation of fear. Then it's not my gut feeling. But still, you can pay attention to that and notice if maybe that situation is not right overall. So yeah, I want to leave you with that. I know it's a lot of information today, and we're going to continue to unfold this throughout the weeks. So I have to, if there's only one little thing that you take away from this entire talk today, this entire thing that I'm sharing with you, then that's perfect. And if there's nothing, if to you that makes absolute no sense, that's okay too. That's okay too. We're planting little seeds. That's what we're doing. So thank you for listening, and yeah, thank you for being here. And